What's up, guys? So this was a common question that I received when we picked up the S21 Plus a few days ago, and I think this is a pretty good question. Should you get the Note 20 Ultra or the S21 Plus? There is a big difference when it comes to software updates, at least, and also it really is going to come down to the cameras as well too. And there actually is a lot here with this comparison. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so this was a question that I was getting a lot: Note 20 Ultra or the S21 Plus. And it's a pretty good comparison, guys. So there's actually a lot here. Software updates play a big part in decision making here. Also, what you guys think about the image quality. I'll show you guys some side-by-side stills. And yeah, so we'll go through everything. And there's actually quite a bit of difference here. And let's just start off with the price of these two phones, right? So the price is going to play a pretty big difference, a pretty big deciding factor here. So let's go ahead and bring that up. So the Note 20 Ultra is going for, it looks $323, in good condition $330. So we could say to get a pretty good condition one, you'll pay around $350. It looks like for a Note 20 Ultra. Yeah, for a good condition one like this one is good condition to use refurbished. The S21 Plus, it is a little bit cheaper, so we can say maybe $100 cheaper, around $250. This is a good version right here. You guys were asking about that last. This is a good refurbished version. It's not excellent. Excellent, you would have to pay like $289. Excellent means that it's like almost brand new looking. This one, it's got like maybe, this one almost is brand new looking. It just, I think it had a few like light scratches maybe at the bottom, I think, but this was almost brand new looking to me. All right, so the hardware is actually a big part of the decision making here. With the Note 20 Ultra, it's a glass and metal device, got a glossy back, which I do prefer the S21's matte finish. It doesn't pick up fingerprints as much, but it's got the built-in S Pen. So with the S Pen, you could do digital artwork. You can just jot down notes. You can take advantage of all of Samsung's features in here, like the Smart Select, you know, AR, all that sort of stuff, translation. They have a lot of good S Pen software, and not only that, but the Note 20 Ultra does have SD card support as well too. So this phone does have expandable storage, and the S21 does not, and it does not have a built-in pen. Now, the S21 does have, I think, maybe a slightly better looking design. I've always been a fan of the S21 design here, especially the camera cutout. It's a matte finish. This is also IP68 dust and water resistant, but this one, no, you know, SD card support, and of course, no built-in stylus here. And as far as the design, the S21 Plus is definitely a little bit more comfortable to hold. The Note is super boxy. The S21 has a bit of a curve on the edge, so it just fits better in the palm here. And they're actually about close to about the same size, the Note being a little bit bigger. Alright, so let's talk about the displays here. So the Note 20 Ultra has a 6.9-inch 1440p display. It's a more boxy display as well too. Dynamic AMOLED, 120Hz HDR10 Plus. It is 120Hz, but only at 1080p, and it's $496 for the PPI. The S21 does have a dynamic AMOLED display at 6.7 inches. It's also 120Hz HDR10 Plus, and it's a little bit brighter at 1300 nits peak brightness. Not by much, but it is a little bit brighter. This is 1080p 394 for the PPI. Basically, we have, I think one of the biggest differences is this is completely flat on the S21, and the Note is actually curved. So, you know, it depends on what you kind of like there. But two very beautiful displays. The Note does technically have a higher res display, being, you know, 1440p. So you will be able to watch content in 1440p. But like I said, most people are going to be using this phone in 1080p. So the displays are, you know, pretty much the same kind of, besides the overall display design, but more boxy display. This one not as boxy, and it's no curve to it. So I like the displays on both. They're very fast, smooth looking displays, very colorful and very bright. So not actually a big difference with displays as far as quality goes. Let's talk about these specs and software a little bit more, because I think this plays a pretty big role here. So the Note 20 does have Android 13 One UI 5, and it is running the Snapdragon 865 chip. And like I said, micro SD card support on here, 128 gigs of internal storage and 12 gigs of RAM is on this one. And then the S21 is also running Android 13 One UI 5. And then we also have the Snapdragon 888 on here, and then we do not have SD card support. And then this model is 128 gigs and 8 gigs of RAM. So you can see the score difference here. The AAA is going to be, just slightly faster than the Note 20 Ultra in benchmarks, not by much, and you definitely really won't feel the difference in terms of performance here. They both pretty much feel actually identical in terms of just speed and overall smoothness running One UI. So the big difference here with the software experience is that the S21 will get up to Android 15. So we had a lot of confusion, but this one does get Android 15. The Note will not get Android 14 or 15. It's only going to get security patches from now on. So that is a big difference there for people who want to experience One UI 6 and 7 and stuff like that. You do have to take that into consideration. But overall smoothness, I really like the A65 chip. Like I said, it is a really fast phone. You guys can see, it's still super fast, and it actually is a little bit better optimized as well too. So we'll go ahead and jump into PUBG real quick, and I'll actually just let this load up, I guess, see which one gets in here first. And we can see the 888 got in there just a little bit faster. Alright, so both these phones, regardless of which phone you go with, they do an excellent job with gaming, but this A65 chip is better optimized, at least for PUBG. We're able to play at 90 frames, so for all my guys that play PUBG, and also some other games, I think Call of Duty, Fortnite, the 888 not as well optimized as the the A65, but this still does an excellent job at playing at 60 frames. So that's just one thing that I've noticed. I think with all the big games, the Note can play them all at 90 frames. Fortnite, Call of Duty, all those games. So it is a little bit better optimized, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's a significantly better gaming device. Honestly, for the average person, both these phones will do a great job. Yes, you do technically get a little bit more power with the 888, but these phones tend to heat up a lot, the 888 phones. This one actually is not as bad as the S21 Ultra, but I think the gaming experience is actually pretty good. But like I said, the Note is technically a little bit more well optimized. Both these phones have stereo speakers. We got them at max volume. Let's go ahead and test it out. Yeah, so the Note does sound a little bit fuller with the speakers. They're both pretty loud, and they're stereo speakers. So if you cover the bottom, you still get pretty good sound at the top. But the Note does sound a little bit fuller. It has a little bit more bass to it. Both these phones have under the display fingerprint sensors, which is awesome. You can also take advantage of face unlock. They pretty much feel the same. So that's really good. And they pretty much have a lot of the same software features. For right now at least. Samsung desktop support, secure folders, reverse wireless charging, pretty much all the same stuff minus the S Pen stuff. Alright, so let's talk about the cameras. So the Note 20 Ultra does have a pretty good camera system still in 2023. It's a 108 megapixel standard camera, 12 megapixel periscope telephoto, has 5 times optical zoom, and then it goes up to the 50 times hybrid zoom, a 12 megapixel ultra wide. It can shoot up to 8K 24 with a 10 megapixel selfie cam that shoots in 4K 60. And then you also have the S21 Plus, which, you know, still a pretty good camera system as well. And then it has a 12 megapixel standard camera on here, a 64 megapixel telephoto. This does 1.1 optical zoom and then 3 times hybrid zoom. And then it has a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and it shoots in 8K 24 as well. And then a 10 megapixel selfie camera that shoots in 4K 60. So you can see the Note is just going to have much better zoom quality. So if you zoom in a lot, as far as these stills, I'm going to let you guys see in the video, and you guys can let me know which one you thought looked better, if you think they look any different. All right, so battery life. So it's been surprising, the S21 Plus. The S21 Plus does not have that much better battery life than the Note, and both these phones have pretty good batteries. Battery life, they both last a full day for me, so you can pretty much easily get 6 hours of screen on time out of both of these phones, and they kind of have the same battery size, so I think that maybe that's why. So the Note runs at 4,500 milliamp hour battery, 25 watt charging, wireless charging, reverse wireless charging. The S21 Plus has a 4,800 milliamp hour battery, so it is a slightly bigger battery, but you can't really tell by the screen on time I'm getting. And it also has the same charging speeds at 25 watts, wireless, reverse wireless charging. Like I said, battery life pretty much seems the same on both of these phones, which is not a bad thing. They both actually do a pretty decent job still at battery life if you're not doing anything too intense on these phones. So yeah, I like both of these phones. I think it comes down to what you thought about the image quality. Software obviously plays a big part in this decision making. Do you want the S Pen? The Galaxy Note has better zoom quality as well too. And I think some of the design aesthetics as well, just being a little bit more boxy, you might like that, or, you know, vice versa, you might like this one. So it just depends. So what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.